On this episode of the Tiny Home Adventure, we head out to a remote surf break with some new friends, and Liam gets back in the water for the first time after his injury. A pod of whales and dolphins put on an epic show while surfing at sunset. We swim with some of the world's largest fish,
That thing is so fast.
which was not that easy, and more. After 2 years of building the expedition vehicle of our dreams from the ground up, the time has finally come to hit the road. Watch as Kicker, Ashley, and I push ourselves to our physical and emotional limits, put our relationship to the test, and overcome unforeseen obstacles. Our goal is to spread positivity while learning from some of the world's most inspiring people. Welcome to Season 3 of the Tiny Home Adventure. We woke up early and headed to a remote surf break with some new friends. The forecast looked pretty good, and when we got there, it was just so-so. But there's just something about being the first one in the water that changes the whole experience, even when the conditions aren't the best.
It's not. It should be.
Where's the stash blown in the wind? We ended up taking a really nice midday nap and got out for a sunset session with some locals. The waves got a little bit better and I caught some really fun ones. A few weeks ago, Liam fell on his board surfing and caught a fin to the shin that was almost an inch deep. He's had to take the last month off, but finally he was able to get in the water, at least to shoot. My goal is always to not kill Liam, if at all possible. I am totally addicted to surfing. It's so cool to see how far I've come in the last 2 months. I think the thing I like most about surfing is knowing that it is a lifelong progression and it's something I'll never master. The dream is still to get barreled. The next day we headed to a new surf break and caught a sunset session with some whales and dolphins just outside of the break. There's nothing like waiting for a wave to come and watching whales and dolphins playing off in the distance.
So we're here in La Paz. We're gonna go dive with some whale sharks today. We're super stoked. Apparently it's just a short boat ride out and you get to dive with these like massive fish. It's gonna be sick.
So sick.
Going out on the whale shark tour. We've been on the boat for 2.5 hours just chilling. I think we're finally gonna go see some whale sharks. Alright, we're getting in. Let's go.
That thing is so fast. I'm using like all my strength to keep up with it, but it's so cool. Like you can see, there's like fish stuck to him.
Apparently, whale sharks are the world's largest fish. An adult male can reach over 41,000 pounds and 33 feet long. Getting in the water with these giants was kind of terrifying, to be honest. They may not look it, but they can swim very fast. I'm swimming the absolute fastest pace I can for about 30 seconds, and I can still barely keep up. They're so graceful and powerful. Definitely an experience I recommend.
Yeah! That was great! Its tail brushed against my chest. That was sick.
That one is big!
Yeah. What's up, everybody? We're coming to you live from the desert. We've got young little kicker dog who is absolutely covered in dust. He's like a different color at the moment. But so we're gonna do this one without kicker, and instead we're gonna do it with Liam. Woo! So in this episode, Liam gets back in the water for the first time after a while. He had a really nasty surf injury. It's one of the worst cuts I've ever seen. And in this episode, he finally gets back in the water, which you don't really talk about. So I'm gonna let Liam kind of tell you that story.
Yeah, so after landing on the fin of my board, I was out of the water for a solid, ended up being like 3 weeks, and at one point I was dealing with a pretty gnarly infection. I made the poor decision of super gluing it shut instead of getting stitches. And being out of the water for that long, especially in Baja, was really tough. Like I was missing out on surfing especially, but also diving and spearfishing, and then also filming from the water. And so I was just kind of stuck on the side, like struggling. I was in pain at times, and it was just frustrating, like being in such a cool spot, being like, well, I'm stuck on the sideline right now. So that was definitely a big battle, but I'm just like so stoked to get back in the water. It definitely never take the water for granted again. Before we took off to Baja, I made the investment into an Aquatech water housing, which is just basically a really expensive waterproof cover for a camera. I wanted to get into like surf photography and filming underwater. But the first couple times I took it out, everything was so shaky. I was struggling. I couldn't get in the right position. It's really quite challenging because you're balancing, you know, fighting the water along with being in position and, you know, operating the camera all at the same time. So hopefully from this episode, you'll start to see that progression as well as I started understanding, you know,
Yeah.
surfing more. And yeah,
It's kind of cool how like our skill sets sort of converged. Like, you know, I finally got like decent-ish at surfing, and you got really good at filming from the water. And like some of those clips I think from this episode are definitely the best surfing clips that we got the entire trip.
yeah.
And we're super excited. It's been a long time, a lot of filming, you know, almost 30 episodes deep now. And Liam and I have been working super, super hard to keep up with just keeping the wheels turning. You know, like this looks like all fun and games, and it is. It's an amazing lifestyle, but we grind super hard to keep, you know, food on the table and gas in our tanks. And we basically decided to pick up a bunch of work the last couple months. But as always, I just want to say thank you all so much for watching. Please make sure to subscribe, like, share, leave a comment, all that stuff. And an extra big thank you to our patrons who make this all possible. You know, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. You know, it looks like we just play all day, but really we are working our butts off 16 hours a day. Like, we're on the clock 7 days a week. Sometimes we get to do really amazing, incredible things, and other times we're in front of the computer for 3 or 4 days straight. So without your support, none of this would be possible. We would not be able to generate the amazing content or put the effort into the content that we create without your help. So thank you. If you're interested, click the link in the bio, become a Patreon. Starts at $5 level, goes all the way up to some pretty crazy stuff. If you want to join us, you totally can. But yeah, this is a fun episode, and there's a couple more on the way. So stay tuned, follow along. We love you, we thank you, and we will see you in the next episode of the Tiny Home Adventure.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.